I had a very late birthday party because we've been traveling a whole bunch, and the only time that we could get the venue that we wanted and the band that we wanted was this particular day. But you told me that, because I had the advantage of turning, there are certain disadvantages of being older than you.
Like what?
Just being the guy that hits 41st that's not something you want to sign up for.
It's scary.
But the advantage that I have recently discovered is that now you have to live up to the party that I threw for myself, or really that my wife threw for me.
Right. Well, for months leading up to you crossing the precipice, breaking the seal on 40, there were murmurs, there were discussions of a party. It's like, all right, well, if you're gonna have a big birthday party, it should be 40. And I was in full support of a great celebration that I would not have to foot the bill for, but I would fully engage in enjoying.
But I did put it on the company.
So you did?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So, I mean, you threw a big party, man. It was like.
It started small and it got a little out of hand.
Well, I wouldn't say it started, well, in the conversations that I heard between you and Jesse about this party and the ones that I was involved in, it was like, well, once you decided you were gonna get a band, which came first, deciding to get a band or knowing about the band and then building a party around the band? Because.
Well, so over a year ago, my wife said, or probably right after I turned 39, she was like, now, do you want to do something substantial for your 40th birthday party? Because we don't really do big parties for birthdays. It's just not something that, we're usually back home in North Carolina for her birthday. My birthday always comes in the middle of a really, really busy time for us. October's always really busy. So we just haven't thrown parties. But when she said that, I was like, I think I want to have a party on a boat, and I want Harbor Party, the band, to play. That's all I said at that time. So
so you thought about boat? Yeah, it was a package deal in your mind. I thought it was from the moment we saw that band, which you should tell them who Harbor Party is.
Well,
because that's the linchpin of this entire experience.
Well, first of all, a lot of people did a lot of social media at the party, and a lot of that spread. And so there's a lot of people who are the mythical beasts who do a lot of digging on the internet to find out things. They already know all about this because there was a lot of Snapchats and Insta stories. I mean, I've seen myself singing that frickin' song a million times from a bunch of different angles because everybody was filming it. But what were we saying? What was the question you asked me?
Harbor Party. Who is Harbor Party?
So Harbor Party is a band that we saw play together for the first time at Good Times at Davy Wayne's, a music club in Hollywood.
But
not just any band. To call them a band is almost not even fair.
I've never been to a music club and watched a band play that I've seen bands because I buy a ticket to their concert. But I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a club, period, actually.
I've been to like a club for like somebody's party who had a party at a club.
But
I don't do the clubbing thing.
But our friends, Gar and Rebecca, knew about this band because Gar's brother was
friends with the lead
really
singer.
Close friends with the lead singer, and they were like, you're gonna love this band, you're gonna love this venue, we should all go and hang out. And this venue, it looked kind of like when you get inside, it's low ceilings and a couple of rooms, and it looks like a frat house inside, like you're literally in a house.
But it's a very, very cool.
Very, very
cool place.
And then in the corner of
and
one
it's
of these,
also like a speakeasy when you walk into the lobby.
Secret.
It looks like just a room, a little shop with like a refrigerator in it.
Oh yeah, you walk through the
and
refrigerator.
You walk through the refrigerator
to get into
and
this
then all of a sudden you're in this music club.
How awesome is that? And then without any stage, just in the corner, just like you would have a house party band, there's a band playing over there, and it's the band that they wanted us to see, Harbor Party, and they're playing yacht rock. Only yacht rock.
Which we've learned that not a lot of people knew what yacht rock was.
I was surprised because yacht rock is my favorite type of music. I mean, basically, to explain it to you, it's It's like late 70s, early 80s soul music that is mostly played by white people. I'm just gonna be, honest. That's what they call blue-eyed soul.
Like a Michael McDonald,
Yeah,
Doobie Brothers, Hall and Oates.
yeah,
It's like when white people are getting as funky as they possibly can.
right.
It's like the limit of white funk.
And you make fun of it by saying, well, now if you get a rich guy on a yacht, this is the music he listens to because it's kind of like, it's kind of second rate. It's a little embarrassing.
It's easy listening, but it's also a little funky, but it's not so funky that you're gonna hurt yourself.
Right.
You can still like have a fishing rod.
And so I would respect anyone, I would not argue with anyone and say, yeah, but it's not the real deal. If you want to talk about funk, you're gonna talk about James Brown.
Right.
You're gonna talk about somebody who actually brings the funk.
It's derivative of James Brown.
This is derivative.
Right, but it's still incredible.
And it's like smoothed out and for palatability of people on yachts, I guess. I don't know.
Now, and these guys, so everybody in this band.
And if Michael McDonald sings a song, then you're gonna bet that that's a yacht rock song.
Right, so.
I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore.
And everybody in the band is a professional musician in their own right, and usually a part of another band or like a studio musician. So they're great at their particular instrument, whether it's the voice or the bass or the keyboards or whatever. Everybody is just an incredible musician.
Professionally.
And then they all come together really as a side project to form this band that plays at places like Good Times at Davy Wayne's, but they also will do parties. And just like I told everybody at my party when I got up to give my little birthday boy speech, everyone underestimates it. Like when you say this is a great band, people are like, okay, why are you making such a big deal out about this band? And then you see them and experience it in person, you're like, well, I can't fathom this. But I will say that there was definitely a little bit of a segregation between the old people, me, you, us getting into our late 30s, and then the like right in the sweet spot of millennials that we have working for us.
Yeah.
And there was this moment where we were up there like dancing our butts off, just like having the greatest time. And I kind of looked back and like saw like a sea of millennials, and I realized that we have become our parents.
Or like just
this is
sad
like,
uncles.
This is like when I went to a part, like I would see my parents like get really excited about 50s music when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I was always like, that song is good, it's good stuff, but like it's a little embarrassing when mom and dad start dancing to like the Four Seasons, you know what I'm saying? Or Chuck Berry or something like that.
And you know what makes it even sadder for us? We don't have yachts.
Yeah, we don't.
You know,
we should look into that.
If we had a yacht, then you'd be like, yeah, but I got a yacht. I mean, I'm on it. I'm dancing on the yacht. Well, so that was the idea.
Well, to come full circle, yeah, I wanted to have a yacht rock band on a yacht. Then I looked into how much that costs. And very quickly learned that was not what I wanted to do. I could have had like a John boat party. That would have been
an intimate affair.
Affordable. But I wanted to have, like around 100 people at this thing. So if you want to put 100 people on a boat,
it's gonna sink. And if it's John boat, it's gonna sink.
Yeah, so we quickly downgraded
It'll be under the sea theme
from boat to club, which I thought was just the perfect venue for those guys. It had a nice stage. But Jesse planned a lot of the details.
It was perfect. There was the stage, and then there was like a bar behind the stage, and in between the bar and the stage there was like a little dance floor, but not too big to where with that amount of people it was like everything was full. So it didn't seem like there was like a big gap where somebody should have been, but they weren't.
And here's the one thing that I was able to do because I didn't have it on a boat. Jesse thought it would be a great idea to get a lobster roll food truck. She's a genius.
That was so good.
And the Cousin's Maine Lobster food truck that had two types of lobster rolls, Connecticut style and Maine style. Connecticut is the warm lobster with butter on it, which is the one that I get.
And I got.
And they had lobster bisque, tater tots. It was absolutely incredible. So it was like being on a yacht that was parked and having somebody who had caught lobster and made it into lobster rolls perfectly for you. And then And then you remember the pie hole that we shot an episode of Will It Pie at?
Yeah.
We got pies from Will It Pie Hole because I tried a Earl Grey tea pie when I was in Pasadena at Pie Hole, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. And Jesse said, I'm gonna have that at your birthday party. So many things just came together. And of course, I did choose to perform a song with the band, which I was a little intimidated. You know this, because I was telling you in the days leading up that
yeah.
little pressure, because we got really good musicians, these professionals. I gotta get up there and I gotta dance and I gotta sing. So I decided to sing not any of the songs that I know that they do so well. I didn't wanna ruin any of the songs that I wasn't gonna sing any Hall & Oates, I wasn't gonna sing any Toto. Wasn't gonna sing any Michael Jackson. They do Michael Jackson, which is not exactly
That's not yacht rock.
But they throw in some.
You can't, if somebody starts playing Michael Jackson, you're not gonna stop them.
So I was like, I'm not gonna sing any of the songs that I'll screw up, but it's gotta be a song that people will recognize and I can actually sing. So I sang Brandy. And first,
parenthetically, you're a fine girl.
Stevie and Cassie both thought, so when I talked to Cassie about this, I was like, I'm performing a song, and she's like, what are you singing? I was like, Brandy. And then she went and told Stevie that I was performing a Brandy song from Brandy. And so then when the band started playing, like the whole night, Cassie was like, I don't understand how Rhett's gonna perform a Brandy song and how this is gonna make sense. And then when I performed Brandy by Looking Glass, a one-hit wonder who recently has come back into, the public eye because they're on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. But she was like, makes a whole lot more sense. And anyway,
you were concerned about it because the days leading up to it, there'd be like a lull in our conversation where we were talking about work or something else, and then you'd be like, I gotta learn those lyrics to Brandy. And I was like, dude, I think it would be great if you just kind of like mumbled your way through it, because that's kind of how he sings. He's like, Brandy.
And I almost did that. I was committed to that for a couple of days.
From far away and for sailors.
But I was worried, it was kind of a risk. I was worried that people might not get it, So I took all this time to memorize the lyrics.
Yeah, you did.
And then they had just had the lyrics on an iPad up there. So I spent hours.
Hours?
Yeah. and then
well, here's my experience. I'm out there just having the time of my life, man. I was happy for you that you were indeed 40, and you know what? You didn't look that decrepit. I mean, you got on stage, you performed a song. I was like, there's hope for me.
Right.
But then my hope started to dash a little bit because one person came up and asked me something. A few minutes later, another person comes up, asked me the same thing. A few minutes later, somebody else is talking to me and then changes the subject to say the same thing.
Right.
Everyone was asking me, what are you gonna do for your party? I'm like, man, I was thinking about it a little bit, but I didn't realize everybody else was thinking about it. A couple of people complimented me on the party and then realized that it wasn't my party.
Yeah.
Like some people associate us so closely that I got compliments. To watch more Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist on the right.
To watch the previous episode of Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist to the left.
And don't forget to click on the circular icon to subscribe.
If you prefer to listen to this podcast, it's available on all your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks for being your mythical best.